Welcome to Science and Technology Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Startups Challenge Culture of the Japanese Salaryman, 5 Toasty-warm Winter Gadgets, Thailand Plans More Visa Waivers, Events to Lift Tourism Revenue, The Invisible War in Ukraine Being Fought Over Radio Waves, OpenAI Chaos, Rice Squeeze, Robot Bends, Sunday Asia Briefing, Startups Challenge Culture of the Japanese Salaryman, Financial Times. Japanese startups are increasingly attracting talent away from larger companies, as the traditional corporate culture is challenged by a new generation of workers who seek greater risk, reward, and stimulation. By the end of last year, over a fifth of job transitions from large companies in Japan were to join startups, compared to 8% in 2018. Younger Japanese workers, having experienced decades of deflation and wage stagnation, now prioritize predictability in their careers and have new expectations of what a company should offer. Startups are seen as offering an alternative work environment, with more opportunities for rapid promotion and a chance to have a real impact on a business. They also provide higher salaries compared to traditional companies, with the average salary at startups being 580,000 Japanese yen higher than at large listed companies in 2022. The Japanese government's support for startups and the growth of the startup ecosystem in Japan have contributed to this shift in preference for younger workers. However, startups are not looking to confront Japan's existing business establishment, but rather to work with it to fill its gaps. 5 Toasty-warm Winter Gadgets. Financial Times. Everhot, a company specializing in range cookers, has introduced 2 new products, a 20-liter oven and a new electric heater. The products are made from heavyweight steel and cast iron and both run off a standard 13A socket. The appliances are designed to be left on for long periods of time and are more efficient than fan heaters, according to Luke Adams at Morley Stoves in Ware, Hertfordshire, where one of the products was tested. The products are priced at £1,495, $2,010, and £1,295 respectively. Thailand plans more visa waivers, events to lift tourism revenue. Bloomberg. Thailand is planning to waive visa requirements for tourists from more European countries and is organizing hundreds of cultural and sporting events in an effort to encourage longer stays and increased spending. The country is considering allowing tourists from certain European nationalities to stay for up to 90 days. Additionally, approximately 3,000 events, including music concerts and marathons, will be organized to attract visitors. Thailand's Prime Minister has identified tourism as a key driver of economic growth and has already waived visa requirements for travelers from countries including Russia, China, and India. The country aims to raise foreign tourism revenue to pre-pandemic levels, targeting at least THB $2,057 billion in 2024. The Invisible War in Ukraine Being Fought Over Radio Waves. New York Times. Ukraine is seeing a battle between Russia and Ukraine in the invisible realm of electromagnetic waves, with radio signals being used to overwhelm communication links to drones and troops, locate targets and trick guided weapons. Known as electronic warfare, the tactics have turned into a cat-and-mouse game between Russia and Ukraine, quietly driving momentum swings in the conflict and forcing engineers to adapt. Electronic warfare has been a feature of wars for more than 100 years, but a battle is raging in Ukraine. Electronic warfare has impacted the fighting in Ukraine as much as weather and terrain, and every operation in the conflict now has to take into account enemy moves in the electromagnetic spectrum. The techniques have turned the war into a proxy laboratory that the United States, Europe and China have followed closely for what may sway a future conflict, experts said. General Charles Q. Brown Jr., the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, raised the topic of electronic warfare this year in prepared remarks for a congressional hearing. NATO countries have expanded programs to buy and develop electronic weapons, said Thomas Withington, an electronic warfare expert at the Royal United Services Institute, a British security think tank. The war in Ukraine has been the performance-enhancing drug for NATO's electromagnetic thinking, he said. It has been the thing that concentrates minds. OpenAI Chaos, Rice Squeeze, Robot Bends, Sunday Asia Briefing. Bloomberg. The article highlights various events and developments happening around the world. Some of the key points mentioned include Sam Altman losing his job running OpenAI, though there is a possibility of him getting it back. SpaceX's Starship rocket exploding again, but not as quickly as the first time. Bayer's Monsanto being ordered to pay over $1.5 billion to 3 former users of its Roundup weed killer. Baidu, Xiaomi, and Kuaishou Technology reporting earnings, giving insight into how Chinese tech companies are navigating economic challenges. India may keep restrictions on rice exports, potentially keeping prices high. Japan's CPI may pick up, but not yet the demand-led inflation sought by the BOJ. Indonesia may leave rates unchanged, while Sri Lanka may cut rates. Osaka's new solar-powered robot trash cans can crush waste, identify rubbish types, and call city workers via an app, but the mayor doesn't like them. An economics professor in Beijing believes he has the answer to China's trade restrictions and lackluster domestic demand. Taylor Swift postponed a concert in Rio de Janeiro after a fan died during her show. The Cricket World Cup reaches its climax as India faces Australia. Startups are recycling used wind turbine blades into items like park benches. OpenAI investors trying to get Sam Altman back as CEO. Wall Street Journal. Investors in OpenAI are making efforts to bring back ousted CEO Sam Altman, according to people familiar with the matter. Altman is considering returning but has said he wants a new board and governance structure if he does so, the People said. The talks come after OpenAI's board abruptly decided to part ways with Altman, citing his alleged lack of candor in communications, and leading to the resignation of Greg Brockman, co-founder and president. Here's what I know about Mira Murati, the interim CEO of OpenAI. Wall Street Journal. Mira Murati has been named interim CEO of OpenAI, following the departure of Sam Altman. The AI company's board said that Murati, who joined OpenAI in 2018 and was previously the firm's CTO, is uniquely qualified for the role. Murati has been responsible for overseeing the development and launch of OpenAI's products, including language model GPT-4 Turbo. In an interview last month, she emphasized the importance of AI being rolled out slowly to understand its impact. Altman's departure was unexpected, according to Greg Brockman, OpenAI's president and co-founder. King throws 2 TD passes, adds scoring run as Georgia Tech holds off Syracuse 31-22. Associated Press. Georgia Tech defeated Syracuse 31-22 on Saturday night to become bowl eligible for the first time in 5 years. Haynes King threw 2 touchdown passes and added a 19-yard scoring run late in the fourth quarter to seal the win. Despite not having a player listed as a quarterback take a snap in the first half, Syracuse were able to narrow the deficit to 24-22, thanks to 3 second-half scoring runs. However, Georgia Tech responded with a long drive capped by King's scoring run, and a late interception from linebacker Kyle Efford sealed the win for the Yellow Jackets. That's all the news for today, folks. Let's recap what we've learned. 1. Japanese startups are attracting talent away from larger companies as younger workers seek greater risk, reward, and stimulation. Startups offer an alternative work environment with more opportunities for rapid promotion and higher salaries. 2. Everhot has introduced 2 new winter gadgets, a 20-liter oven and a new electric heater made from heavyweight steel and cast iron. These appliances are designed to be efficient and can be left on for long periods of time. 3. Thailand is planning to waive visa requirements for tourists from more European countries and organizing cultural and sporting events to encourage longer stays and increased spending. The country aims to raise foreign tourism revenue to pre-pandemic levels. 4. Ukraine is experiencing an invisible war fought over radio waves between Russia and Ukraine. Electronic warfare tactics are being used to overwhelm communication links, locate targets, and trick guided weapons. This has turned the conflict into a proxy laboratory for the United States, Europe, and China. 5. OpenAI is going through some changes, with the investors trying to bring back ousted CEO Sam Altman. Meanwhile, Mira Murati has been named interim CEO, and she has been overseeing the development and launch of OpenAI's products. 6. Georgia Tech defeated Syracuse 31-22, becoming bowl eligible for the first time in 5 years. Haynes King led the team with 2 touchdown passes and a scoring run to seal the win. Now, let's talk about these news stories. It seems like the traditional corporate culture in Japan is being challenged by the allure of startups. Who can resist the opportunity for rapid promotion, higher salaries, and a chance to make a real impact on a business? It's no wonder that more and more young workers are flocking to startups. And speaking of startups, Everhot's new winter gadgets sound like a dream for those chilly nights. Imagine having an oven and an electric heater that are not only efficient but also made from heavyweight steel and cast iron. It's like having a warm hug in appliance form. Thailand is also making moves to boost its tourism industry. By waiving visa requirements and organizing cultural and sporting events, they're hoping to attract more visitors and increase spending. It's a smart strategy, considering how tourism can be a major driver of economic growth. Now, let's not forget about the invisible war happening in Ukraine. The battle between Russia and Ukraine in the realm of electromagnetic waves is a fascinating development. Electronic warfare tactics are now as important as weather and terrain in the conflict, and it's something that other countries are closely watching. It's like a high-tech game of cat and mouse. Lastly, we have the updates on OpenAI. It seems like there's some drama going on behind the scenes with investors trying to bring back the ousted CEO. Will Sam Altman return? Only time will tell. In the meantime, Mira Murati is taking the reins as interim CEO, and she's already been making waves with the development and launch of OpenAI's products. And there you have it, folks. That's the news for today. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you have any burning questions? Share your ideas, opinions, and questions in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.